One more time, welcome to SAP S4 ABAP introduction session. In this introduction session, we are going to cover, as I already shared you the agenda, so let me share you for one more time. So what is an S4 HANA? What is an S4 HANA? And then we are going to see about your HANA architecture, and then we are going to see about what are the different things like in the HANA architecture, what SAP has stated, like the presentation layer, the application layer, as well as your database layer. What are the changes that SAP has been came up in these things? And then we are going to see in which industries we can use S4 HANA. And then we can also see about what are the S4 release things, what are the S4 releases that SAP has done from till now. I mean, the evaluation of SAP S4 HANA, I will use to say. And then we used to see about the key differences between ECC versus S4 HANA. And then what you will get when you enroll to the course, what you will be going to get when you enroll to your course, and timings about our session. So, and then the fee structure. And then the fee structure. So these are the things which we are going to cover as part of our today's session. Now, as for HANA. So HANA, so see, there are two different versions of your HANA. Before we go ahead with that, HANA is nothing but a database. It's not like any application or anything. It's a database. We can plug to any application, not only SAP. If you want, you can just go ahead and plug to Microsoft Dynamics, or if you want to, you can go ahead and plug it to any other systems. HANA, it's just an HANA system. And remember that HANA has not been it has not been developed by SAP. We have a server called as a Sybase server, which is most prominent in 1995 and 1996. After that, the Oracle has been came up into picture, and the Sybase server has completely exhausted. So people are not using the Sybase server. So SAP has purchased this Sybase server, and they have replaced with HANA by adding few of the components like OLAP. So you will be having majorly two components, OLAP and OLTP. OLTP. So these are the two components. What is this OLAP and OLTP? Online application processing and transaction processing. So analytic processing, sorry, not application, analytics processing as well as your transaction processing. So currently, in the current world, if you take any DB, it can only support either OLAP, either OLAP or OLTP. Now, if you take in the ECC real-time world scenario, so you will be having the ECC system, and you will also have something called as your BW system. You will be having your ECC system and you will be having your BW system. You used to transfer the data from ECC to BW, and in the BW system, we will be generating our reports. The reports which are used for the directors or for the managers of the company. So if you take this, ECC is an OLTP engine, whereas BW is nothing but your OLAP engine. So these are the two different things. Now, what SAP has did it, why I need to maintain two systems? Why can't I club them? So that's where they have created a simplified system, which is nothing but your S4 HANA. S4, simplified fourth generation HANA system. simplified version. So this has been introduced in the year 2015 with the first module that they have been introduced is called as your simple finance. Simple finance. So this is the first module that they have been introduced. After that, in 2016 to 17, they have introduced simple logistics, and then they have been completely migrated your SAP, your ECC to S4 HANA, your ECC version to S4 HANA. Now, but HANA has been came up on live from 2013 onwards. 2013 onwards, we have our HANA system existing. There are clients who has been moved from ECC to S4 ECC on top of HANA, on top of HANA. So which is nothing but they have removed the database and they have replaced the database with HANA, but they have not changed the application. So that means on your ECC component also, you can go ahead and install your HANA. If you go ahead and check your HANA, if you go ahead and check your ECC systems, you will be finding out your databases. So how can you check that? So if I let me open my remote desktop. So if you see here, system status, and here, if you go to your product version, so the first thing is the database. Here it is nothing but your HDB, which is nothing but your HANA DB. In this case, you can able to see your Oracle or your MS SQL or some other databases also. You can able to see. If it is an HDB, so this can be an S4 HANA or it can be an ECC on top of HANA. But how can you confirm that whether it can be an S4 HANA or ECC on top of HANA? Go to your product version and then you can able to see your installed versions. So if you see here S4 HANA on premise and what is the release 2022 version. 2022 version. So this is how you can able to confirm that you are using your S4 HANA DB. Okay, so this is how you need to know whether you're working on an ECC system or whether you're working on your S4 system. Now, coming back to our PPT. So what is an
One
S4?
quick thing, Rakesh.
Yes, Amit, go
I
ahead.
know there were systems where we just had before S4 HANA came, HANA DB was there, right? Only HANA DB.
Right, ECC on top of HANA, which is nothing
Yeah.
but your
So there
suit on
your
HANA.
database will show only HDB, but your version will not be S4 HANA version. It will be ECC,
Right,
right? Okay.
right,
And when it comes to if you see the version as S4 HANA on premise or on cloud, that is how we know it is on cloud or on premise, right?
right, right.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So see, S4 HANA stands for your suit for HANA, which I told you. So suit on HANA is different from suit for HANA. Suit on HANA, which is nothing but you will be having your ECC system on an HANA database, which I just tell you, which I just spoken about you. And suit for HANA is a simplified data model and a lean architecture and improvised user performance. So people will not log in into SAP GUI, they will be logging into SAP Fiori web-based. Either you can able to log in from your mobile or you can able to log in from your tablet, or if you can able to log in from your desktop to complete the actions. To complete the actions or to create any orders. I would say people in the sense the business end users. Don't think like us about our technicals and functionals. Either we used to work on your SAP ECC, SAP GUI or on SAP on Eclipse. Either any one of the software we'll be going to use for for doing our programming. So in which systems in which type of a scenario we will be using your SAP GUI, and which type of a systems we will be going to use your SAP Eclipse, we'll be going to know in our further sessions. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now, this suit for HANA, this will run on SAP in-memory database. What is meant by your in-memory? So see, in your current world, you will be having like let's say in your ECC world, you will be having your application server, you will be sorry presentation layer, application layer, as well as your database layer. So whenever you call a transaction, it will first reach to your application layer, and then here you will be having your work processes. Where can we see your work process? These work process are different types. One is your BTC, foreground, background processor, foreground processor, update processor, and update to processor. These are the processors. Where can we see? You can able to see in a transaction called as SM51. If I let's open this over here, SM51, you might be aware of it, but people who doesn't know, I'm just explaining you. So these are your instances, application server instances. So you can have multiple instances or you can have single instances. When you double click on this, it can able to show what are the different. See, the dialog is nothing but your foreground processor, and update, background, spool, as well as your update to. Each thing will perform different activity. When you are going to create a background job in SAP via SM36, and you have go ahead and schedule that background job. So this background job processes will come up into pictures, and it will start running those programs at the background level. But when you are working it manually, it will just use your dialog processes. And whereas when you're going to generate any spool, so it will use your spool processors. Whereas if you want to update any databases, so it will use update and update task to processors. So these are the different processes that we have available. So those processes will use to retrieve the data, or which will use to post the data. Now, this is in ECC version, whereas in ECC it will you sorry it will just get this. Whereas coming from fetching of data, we will going to fetch the data in the database, like what you will be going to write your select query, and then the loop processing, the loop and the loop, or when you're going to call any function modules, those things will be happened at your application layer. That means how you want to see the output of that functionality, that will be happening in your out in your application layer, and that will be showcased you on your application, the presentation layer. This is how the normal ECC cycle will work. So now when you are going to fetch the data, let me open an Excel. So let's take, for example, I need to fetch the data from my sales order table. So VBAK. So now what are the fields you will be having? Sales order, creation date, creation time, your sales organization, distribution channel, division, and all the respective other things. Now, when you are going to fetch your data, SAP will fetch the data in this format. So row wise. So from row wise, it will go ahead and select your data. So based upon your conditions, it will check each and every row of that data, each and every row. Every row, it will go ahead and check whether the data is available for your particular conditions. So the row wise, it is going to check the row wise. Whereas when you're going to work with your SAP S4 HANA, for each and every row, it will work as an index table. It will just go ahead and create an index table for each and every column, I would say. Index table. What it will do, see, for example, if you take creation, I mean, let's take for your sales organization index table. How many sales organizations you usually have if you are expanding to different parts of your world? Mostly like 100 sales organization or 500 sales organizations. That's it, not more than that, right? So what it will do for each and every sales organization. So let's say for 1,000, it will create one. For 2,000, it will create two. So like this, an index will be gets created at the back end, which we can't able to see. So that's one thing you just need to remember. Now, when you are adding the data, so out of which this in this sales or in this sales order so only, sorry, in the sales organizations only, you can able to create the data instead of this 1,000 at the database in memory concept. It will store the index value. It will store the index value for it. It will just go ahead and store your index value, not your exact value. But when you are seeing it, you will be not finding any differences. But inside the database, it will store in the form of your indexes. Now, when we are fetching the data from the database tables, whatever the columns which you are writing in the select query, whatever the columns which you are writing in the select query. Let's say I want only the sales order, the sales organization. So only these two will check instead of other fields. It won't check the other fields, I would say. Only these two fields it will be gets checked. So that's called as your in-memory database. It won't go ahead and check. So which is nothing but that's why we'll be calling it as your in-memory columnar database, columnar DB. It's not like as a row based or sequential based DB. So sequentially, it will go ahead and check each and every field. Whereas in your SAP HANA, the required columns will be only fetched, and in that, you will be using an in-memory concept, which will go ahead and create a backend index table. Instead of fetching the data normally, if you are going to fetch the data from an index, the retrieval of data will be very, 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 very faster. And these things will be happened in your RAM, not in your DB, not in your DB. So you will be having a RAM, which is nothing but your CDS views. So, which is nothing but your CDS views. So when you are working on your S4 HANA, remember, we should not use your, we should not use the database tables. We have to always use your CDS views. So how to find a CDS view for a database table, which type of the CDS view we have to use, that we will be going to check in your upcoming sessions. Upcoming sessions. What is the importance of fetching the data from your CDS view? Also, you will be getting to know in your upcoming session. So always remember, when you're working on S4 HANA, you should not use your database tables anymore until and unless, let's say you will ask a question. Let's say I have a database table where I have extend my Z fields. I have created my Z fields. Will this automatically come and show in your CDS views? No, it will not go ahead and show your CDS view. You have to enhance your CDS view. The enhancements of the CDS views can be done in two ways. The enhancements of the CDS views can be done in two ways. One is with the CFL, or one is with your extend CDS views. Extend CDS view. When you have to go ahead with your CFL and when you have to go ahead with your extend CDS views, that also we will be going to cover as part of this session. So this is why we have to always, so remember that when you are working on S4 HANA, you should not use your database tables anymore until and unless if you have your Z tables. And if this Z table is going to be used at multiple places, we would request to go ahead and create a CDS views. We would request to go ahead and create a CDS view. And currently in our real time world, when you are going to write, when if there is a table and which we want to expose via TMG. So we are not going to create any TMG. We will be creating an Fiori application for this table, Fiori application for this table, where you will be having your create button, update button, as well as your delete button. Delete button. So the Fiori will be in the Fiori, they will be going to add the data and they will be going to change this. So this you can able to do it CDS with the box, or else you can able to do it with your RAP, RESTful ABAP programming. So the CDS with BOF we used to do till 1909 and 2020 versions, but from RAP we used to use from 2020. I would say from 2022, majorly people are using with the help of your RAP. They are going to add the data, or they are going to update the data. They are going to delete the data. So RAP is a different course, but I'll just give you the highlights how to work with your RAP, but not in detail. But with the CDS, with BOF is what we are going to see as part of our course. See, there is no much difference in that. It's just like how you are going to expose your table to your front end. How you are going to expose, whether via with your BOF, and you have to go ahead and create a OData model. But in this case, we are not going to create any OData model. We will be creating a projection view on top of it, and on that we will be going to create a behavioral definition as well as your behavioral implementation. So those things we will be going to do, but I'll be just going to give you about a highlights of RAP at the last, once our course gets completed. Okay, so this is all about these things, which is nothing but your in memory and everything. And remember that SAP S4 HANA will be available on three different versions. One is your on-premise, or one is with your public cloud, and one is with your private cloud. See, the cloud versions will be maintained and managed by your SAP. We don't have any third parties which they can able to maintain the clouds as of now. It is going to be maintained by SAP only, whereas on-premise is nothing but the database, whatever the database will be lying under in our company. In our company, we will be using a dedicated hardware server for this to store our data. So which is too costly. It's all depends upon the client to client, whether they want to go ahead and use on-premise or whether they want to go ahead and use a public or private cloud. So on-premise or public or private cloud. So most of the big MNCs, like if you take Pepsi, or if you take Hyundai, or if you take Kia, or if you take so these type of a big companies, they used to maintain the server on their own. But when you're going ahead with the private cloud or a public cloud, so the servers and everything will be maintained by SAP. If there are any outages or anything, the SAP is going to check on that. We are not responsible. So it's completely will be under your SAPs. Now, so private cloud, it did.
Rakesh, couple of questions.
Yes, good.
Is it okay? Like,
Yeah, good.
okay. A quick question on this private cloud and public cloud. So this cloud is SAP's own cloud, or are you talking about AWS S4 HANA on AWS or GCP, something like that, like
Right,
on
right.
Google?
right,
Oh, that's what you mean when you say cloud.
right. So
It
it will
can
be
be
maintained. It will be
SAP.
maintained by SAP, and you have to go ahead and use it wherever you want via AWS, or there are some other tools that which you can able to connect. Okay.
Okay, one question. Like AWS and GCP, is SAP having its own cloud?
It's all depends. See, if you
Okay.
are having an AWS with GCP,
Okay.
on-premise also you can able to use it. When you are going to give it to your contractors, or let's say
Okay.
I'm working in a product-based company, I have
Mm-hmm.
my developers who have been working on from Accenture as well as from Deloitte as well as from Infosys. Okay, so,
Right.
so if they want to access our systems, we can
Mm-hmm.
just go ahead and we will be creating a cloud connector on top of our ECC system, and
Okay.
that cloud connector they can able to handle it via AWS with the GCP. Okay, so
Okay.
those things, it's a different concept,
Got
but
it. Yeah.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
so how you are going to expose the system is what. So whether you want a dedicated server, or whether you can go ahead and use your public server, or whether it's an on-premise server. So that means
Yeah. That.
dedicated
Yeah.
server is nothing but your private cloud, and
Yeah.
public cloud as well as your on-premise.
Just shared service is public cloud, dedicated is private, or company has to client itself maintains everything is on premise. Like he
Right,
will only.
exactly, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so this
Other
is
thing, yeah, other thing, and the row column thing when we are saying you spoke about how to pull data, but I just wanted, if not now, but in future, when you insert, what happens? Like how do you insert? Like a new record is
insert,
done.
yes, insert is a normal way only. So you will be getting to know about your OLAP as well as your OLTP in your upcoming slides. Then your
Yeah.
question will
Okay.
be gets clarified.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. So now, so this is all about your S4 HANA. What is meant by your in-memory database, and what are the different versions of your S4 HANA. Now, next coming to your SAP HANA architecture. Okay, so previously, as I was telling you, you will be having a presentation server, you will be having an application server, and you will be having a database server. But now, this presentation server has been replaced with your Fiori shell or Fiori. So that means when our user wants to access our SAP systems, we will be going to create they can only able to access via Fiori. It's like as your web-based URL. Web-based URL. So with a URL, they can able to log into your system by providing the client, the user ID and your password. Now, what is the advantage of providing these things? Now, you can expose few different apps directly onto your browser, like when you are going to use your any banking application. See, whatever you have seen is what they have exposed it for internet, but there are some items which they have been exposed in the intranet. So what is meant by an internet as well as your intranet? Internet is nothing but as a open source. Everyone can able to log into that URL, and they will be having a user ID password, and they can just go ahead and log into that, and they can do whatever the things like that, like your Gmail or your Facebook or your Instagram or your ICICI banks or SBI banks, etc., etc., etc. Okay, or if you can take any IRCTC or any flight applications like Make My Trip, anything. So those are the applications that has been exposed, whereas intranet, which is only used internally, the applications, now you can configure those applications whether you want to expose to your internet or whether you want to expose to your intranet. That will be taken care by your security team. They will be designing the roles and to whom that has to be accessed, or it has to be accessed via internet. That will be taken care by your security. So everything will be done. Whatever the postings or everything, they will be going to done from your. They can use either of your mobile or either of your tablet or either of your desktop, which we have discussed earlier. And then before this, in this, you will be having in between this ECC, there is one more thing called as your dispatcher. Dispatcher. What it will do? The dispatcher will go ahead and I would say that go ahead and check which work processor is empty. That request it will just collect. It will just send that to that. It will just send that. Now over here also, here we will be using a dispatcher, and here we will be using something called as your web dispatcher. Web dispatcher. So now this web dispatcher will just connect to your application engines. Now in this you do have two different things from your inside your HANA. You do have two different things. One is you can able to fetch the data, or you can able to post the data. So the fetching from directly from the CDS view, you can able to do it, or you can able to get it from your OData services. Whereas the postings previously, as per the current world scenario, we are using the OData services, but right now we will be using your RAP, or we will be using your BTP. Okay, so now it can be your CDS view. When if you are going to fetch the data from your CDS view, directly it will just connect to your web engines, application engines, it will directly connect it. Whereas when you are going to use your OData, it will just go ahead and use your HTTP mode, which I just provided you over here. If I increase this SAP with WebGUI for SAP WebDyn Pro applications, it's directly connecting. It's directly connecting, which is nothing but your RAP and BTP, the advanced versions of your WebDyn Pro. Okay, they will be directly connecting to your application engines. Whereas if you have any gateway components, it will just connect it to your gateways, and it will go ahead and fetch your data. Now, if it is from the application engine, what things you are going to do, whether you are going to do your analytics, or whether you are going to do your transact enterprise search, or whether you are going to do your transaction logic. That means whether you are going to post your data. If you are posting your data, see here, it will just update your CDS views. It will also get update your databases directly. Now with the help of your BAPIs or anything, or when you write any update, modify, delete statements, it will directly just update the data to your database tables. It will directly. Now, there is a job which will always be working, which will go ahead and push the data to your in-memory. And I forgot to tell you one more advantage of having an in-memory database. Let's see that also. Now, let's see if there is an outage issue, outage issue has been came up. So system is not working, or system got hanged. You just need to restart your system. So or something, a malfunctionality or malware has been attacked. Now, before, see, in SAP, every day we will store a log. It is all depends upon the client to client. So they can store log for every 1 hour, or they can store log for every 1 day, or they can store log for every 8 hours, or like that. So what this log will do, a log file will be get created, a log file. If there is any issue happen, let's say, for example, there was some outages or something has happened to your system, you just need to reinstall or recreate your own databases. Recreate. So that means entire your data has been lost, or let's say some standard database table got deleted, for example. So a fresher has been joined, and somehow he forgot, and he has clicked on delete the standard table. Now, if you want to retrieve the table back, it will in ECC, it will almost take close to like 2 to 3 days. Whereas in S4 HANA, you will be having this log file. They will simply load this log file. They will simply load this log file, and your system is up, and it will start get running. So entire the database will be back. Let's say if they only one one day of your data will be get lost, that we can able to manage with our end users. So that's the advantage of having your S4 HANA. That's the advantage. So it will just directly go ahead and create your log files. Previously, in your ECC, we'll be using some different tools to create our log file. So, but right now in SAP S4 HANA, that log file has been an inbuilt feature, but you might be not aware of it. Basis will aware of that. Basis activity is that. Okay. So that's an advantage, one more advantage. Now coming back, I forgot to tell you that now whether if you are doing any transaction logic, it will directly update to your database, and from this databases, it will just go ahead and retrieve the data to your CDS view, or sometimes it will just go ahead and also update your CDS views as well as your databases directly. Whether it is an analytics, it will directly get the data from your CDS views only. So that's why this we will be calling it as in memory. It is not connecting to your excuse me, it is not connecting to your physical databases. It is connecting to your in memory, which is nothing but your RAM. RAM is 10,000 times faster than your physical hard disk. So I can tell you an example for this also. Let's say if your system is too slow, what they will do, they will delete your temporary files and they will delete it. Still it is slow. What they will do, let's go ahead and increase the RAM. Let's go ahead and increase the RAM. So that's what people will do it. Here also, why we are going to use, because when you open the application, it will just go ahead and store a temporary version in your RAM. And from there, it will retrieve the next time onwards. From there, it will retrieve the next time onwards. Now, the entire databases will be get stored in the form of your CDS views. We will be using this CDS views. We'll be going to use the CDS views for fetching of your data. So when you're using this BAPI, it will just go ahead and directly connect it to your databases. When you're going to use your RAP or BTP or CDS BOF, it will use again your CDS view. It will use again your CDS view. That's why the transaction logic, you can able to see some parts it is going to do via CDS view and some parts is directly going to use via your databases. Now, complete to your analytics, it is always get the data from your CDS view. So when you're going with S4 HANA, we don't need your BW system. The BW system, everything we can able to do it via your S4, via your S4. That is too capable. Okay. So whereas your enterprise search, like your planning data or anything, you can also get the data from your CDS views, not from your physical database tables. That's the advantage. Everything we are going to do with the help of your CDS view. Let's say if you have created any from your third party, you're going to fetch that from the third party, a trigger will be happen, and internally if SAP has to create it, we will be going to write a custom program for it. So where we will be going to use a BAPI. From here onwards, you should not do that. We have to find out if there are any standard APIs. We have to find out if there are any standard APIs. We have to utilize those APIs. We have to utilize how to find out an API and everything. We will be going to see in your upcoming sessions also. Don't worry about that. Now, coming to your Fury Launchpad. So coming back. So in the Fury Launchpad, when they open and access the Fury like this, they can able to see these tiles. So application. So previously end users has to provide the transactions. They has to provide the T codes in that, and they have to open that application. But right now for the end user, they don't need to remember any T codes. It's just like every application we will be creating a tile for them. So this style, how to create this, I will be going to explain that. But this will be taken care by your ABAPs, I mean, this will be taken care by your security team. So, but how we are going to create that, I'll be going to explain that. In few companies, you will be getting a chance to create your tiles. How to create that, we'll be going to see that. So these tiles are nothing but your apps, like your Facebook tile, WhatsApp tile, Instagram tile. So like that, the same way the tiles will be showcased. The showcase, they just need to click on this tile and it will open that application. They can just perform the activities. So that's the advantages. They don't need to go ahead and create they don't need to remember the transactions. Even you will be having here a search bar. I didn't paste that. So when they click on search bar and they can provide the name of the tile and it will automatically showcase you what are the different tiles that we have available. So now, what are the applications that SAP supports? In the Fiori Launchpad, we do have 1,000+ Fiori apps that are available. So to see those apps, you will be having something called as your Fiori App Library. Fiori App Library. So I'm just going to get this. Fiori app library. So now in this Fiori app library, you can able to find out for each and every app. I'll be just going to showcase the app also. Let's say, for example, you want to create an employee. You want to create an employee. So just you want okay, employee. It's not showing up. Okay. Let's go ahead and say accounting document. See
Order
how much.
create.
How many we are there? 16,651 apps are there. So let's say, for example, order anything. So let's take anything. So I'm just opening this app, schedule order issues. So now, see, you can able to see this is for S4 HANA from which release it has been used, from which release. So from 2021 FPS 01 support pack, service pack 01. FPS 01 is nothing but your service pack 01. So it has been came up live. Before that, this app has not existed. So if you go ahead and if you're working on 2020 or 2021, sorry, 2020 or 1909, you can't able to see this app from 2021. Now, in this, so for every version to version, there will be a changes. SAP can able to do it. Now, you just need to know the your current version of your SAP. Let's say if it is HANA 2022 FPS 01. So now this is what you have to select, and then you just need to go your implementation information, go to your configuration. You can able to see it is like from your OData services, which is using your CDS view. Now, this CDS view will be exposed to your OData services. So this CDS view, which is able to use to retrieve the data from the CDS view, maybe it can be an analytics issues, order issues. What are the issues that are facing in the orders? It's one single report. It is just going to showcase you that. Now, if it is 2023 FPS 01, there can be a changes. There can be a changes, but here we don't see any changes. But there are some standard applications that have been got changes. And sometimes if you go ahead and see, you will be finding an app called as deprecated. Deprecated is nothing but they have completely removed that app. When you just click on this related apps, you can find out the related apps for that. So the app name is F222. F2888. I guess this is the app. So I just want to showcase that one. This is the one. If you see this maintain employees, so see, you can able to see this is version V2 as well as your maintain employees. Now, deprecated for the selected release. Now, this app is not available from 2020 version. So if you go to 1909, this app is available. 1909, this app is available. From 2020, also this app is not deprecated. Now, for your latest version, you have to use this app. Now, if you see, you will be finding a different service. Now, if I go here and if you go to the configuration, so this is a different OData services. And now if I go back to my maintain application, so it's a different OData service. This app got deprecated. Let me go to 1909 version, 1909 FPS 02. Now, if you see here, there is a different OData service. Now, when you are going to use this, so when you're going for an upgrade, so these are the things you just need to know. Don't worry, SAP has provided few things to find out that. So those we will be going and checking in your upcoming session. So this will help us what is your service, or whether it is from to data service, or whether it's from to your CDS views, or whether they can expose your direct T code. So the direct T code also we can expose to your Fiori, or if it is a T code based. So this app, this Fiori app library will use to get those details. Will use to get those details. Okay. So this is all about your presentation layer. Now coming to your application layer.
Rakesh, quick
Yeah.
question. Yeah,
Yes.
one silly question. What is the difference between a tile and an app? You are saying two things.
Both
One,
are
you showed us tiles. Is tile
okay.
and app the same?
Yes. Same. So
Same.
we can
Okay.
expose an application in the form of a type.
Expose an application in the form, but when you're searching for a T code, like sales order creation, we are searching in app library, like in app,
No, no,
not
no.
like a tile.
Okay. So see here in this Fiori app library,
Right.
in your Fiori app library, you can able to find all your apps. So these apps, it can be your T code based apps, or if you
Right.
are exposing a CDS views to a OData service from the front end, they want to maintain the data. See, the apps can be of three types. One is the direct T codes. When you are going to create any
Right.
Z program, you will be creating a transaction code, right? So
Right.
that transaction code you can expose in the form of your Fiori tile. Okay,
Okay.
that's one thing. Now, a
Okay.
OData service you have created. So for
Mm.
that OData service, a front-end application will be gets created by your SAP Fiori consultants. So that
Okay.
application they can expose it as a tile. Whereas the analytics application, there are with the help of your CDS view, you can create an analytics application. That application we will be exposing it as a tile for the users to see
Mhm.
in the launch pad. That will be exposed via as a tiles. When they click
Got it.
on the tile, they can see, they don't know what exactly it is going to be triggered. So we know it. How can you
Yeah.
know that? With the help of this Fiori app library.
Got it.
Okay. So this
Yeah.
is this is
So
what
it's
your
like a user menu. If a HR user
right.
opens, he will see all tiles related to his HR applications.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what I told you. Security will go ahead and
Right.
maintain whether they want which things they want to see in the internet
Yeah.
as well as your intranet. Even in the intranet also they will again configure. So if it is an accounting related person user, they can able to see only the accounting apps. If this is a HR related person, they can able to only see your HR applications. Okay,
Got it.
clear?
Okay. Second question.
Yes.
When you are on a higher version, let's say you have upgraded, can you use still a app in a lower version?
See, if the app is existed, you can able to
Yes.
use it. If the app is not existed, you have to you that's what I told you, right? For this maintain application,
Right.
uh,
So this is because in real time, I know what happens is clients might like certain apps. They even if SAP version has been upgraded, your
if the
service pack is upgraded. still they might say, I still want to use old one. I don't have any issues with that.
Either
And
you
it's not
have to,
deprecated. Let's say it's not deprecated.
if it is not deprecated, you can able to use it without any issues. So
Okay.
which are the things that got deprecated and all these things you can able to know
Correct.
with the help of your ATCs. So there is a thing called as ATC run. We will be doing it whenever we are
Okay.
upgrading our system. So that steps you will be going to know at a later point of time. So these are your deprecated app. So if they want to say to use this, no, you can't able to use this. You have to go ahead and use the latest version. But when we are upgraded, it will automatically show this. We will be deleting that tile and we will be installing this new tile. We'll be
Okay.
installing this new tile automatically. Those are the steps that which we will be taken care as part of your upgrade when you are doing your SPAU as well as your SPDDs. Okay.
Got it. Okay, I understood. Now, other question extending to this small question. So, let's say in the previous app, in the older version, you might have done some enhancement. So, obviously, when your version is going higher and SAP has deprecated that, so any custom development if you are done on that app, we have to, that is what we'll do in upgrade projects, like
Right.
like we have to
Yes.
enhance it again.
Right, you have
Okay,
to enhance it again. If the app is deprecated, if the app is
got it.
not deprecated, it will stay as is.
Got
It
it.
will stay as
Perfect.
is. Okay.
Yeah. Done. Yeah.
So that's what I told you. There is a
Yeah.
way for extending where you are doing with CFL or where you are going to do it with your extend. So
Got
which SAP will not touch when you are going to upgrade. Okay.
it. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank
Now
you.
coming to your application engine. See, in previous ECC version. So as I told you, S4 is a simplified linear version or simplified lean database model. So what has been done? See, in SAP, you have a number of tables that we have. So those number of tables you won't be able to see it in your S4. So all your status tables are gone. All your status tables are gone. So that will be added as a as a as in your normal databases tables only. So first thing is status tables, everything is gone. So if you are going with a service order, they have some status I005, I001, I003, which is nothing but create or they have been released like that. A status will be gets created. Those things they have been gone right now. But from the user perspective, they don't see much difference. From the backend, our perspective, we will be seeing those differences. And not only this, so some of your big in ECC, you will be having your cluster tables, right? Those cluster tables has been gone. Cluster and pooled tables are not going to be used in your S4. Every table is a transparent table. So even your cluster tables, so like if you go ahead and see for your MSEG as well as your BSEG, in your ECC, those are your cluster tables, but whereas in your S4, those are your transaction, those are your transparent tables. Not only that, they have created few new more tables like by combination of for big tables like BSEG, MSEG, so like your accounting, the material master, they have created a new tables, MATDoc as well as your AC DOCA. If you see this combination of BKPF, BSEG, COBK, BSET, you can able to check in one single table, which is nothing but your AC DOCA. Whereas for your inventory, like all these tables, whatever you have seen, MKPF, MSEG, and other status tables, you can able to see everything in your material document data at MatDoc. Like this, they have removed most of your tables, and they have created a few more new tables. So don't worry, functions will know about this. What are the new tables? But remember this material doc as well as your AC doc. But anyways, as I told you, we will be not using your tables. We have to find out the respective CDS views for it, and you have to go ahead and write the query on that CDS views, not on your standard tables. Okay. So next, as I told you, simplified table. Many only main tables are remaining, no redundancies, which I just told you. Clear separation of master data and transactional data, reduction of your memory footprint, and principal to one as well as your throughput has been increased. If you have only few tables, So the throughput will always go ahead and increase. That's why it's a simplified linear linear data or linear model, simplified model. Now coming to this CDS views, this is most important. CDS stands for your code pushdown technique. Code pushdown technique. What is this? Previously in your ECC version, what you will be doing it, you will be going to fetch, you will just only fetch the data. All your aggregations, concatenation, determinations, everything you will be doing at your application layer, like calling of your function module. So let's say, so those kind of things, or if you want to concatenate, or if you want to remove your leading zeros, or if you want to add some text to any of it, those type of things you will be doing inside your loop and end loop, and then you will be creating a final internal table. That loop and end loop is nothing but you are doing that at your application layer, so which is nothing but your data to code. The calculations will be happened at your application layer. Okay, but whereas in your S4 HANA, we will be having your CDS views, code code push down technique, which will uses your code push down technique. What this will do, the entire calculations, what you want to do, you will be pushing to your database. We will be asking to do everything at your database layer, like concatenations, like splitting, or if you want to do some conversions, like your unit conversions or currency conversion, or if you want to remove your leading zeros, or if you want to add some text, everything, 90%, I would say 90 to 95% you can able to achieve from the database. From the database, or we will asking to do everything at the database layer. It's that's why I told you. That's why we have to use your CDS views, not use your tables. If you are going to use your tables, you have to again write down your own logic. But if you have done your CDS view, if you have created that CDS view, you can able to expose at multiple places. You can go ahead and expose in the OData services. You can go ahead and you can go ahead and fetch the data in your CDS views, and you can go ahead and expose the data CDS view directly to your OData service, directly to your Fiori app, or you can able to use the CDS views in the child CDS views. Wherever you want, you can just go ahead and use that one. So the reusability purpose also. Okay, that's why we will always use to get that. So as I already told you, as I already see you that this is your data to code and this is your code to data. Now, coming to your databases. Now, as I told you, HANA, it's not S4 HANA. If you think in the form of your S4 HANA, S4 HANA will only work on your SAP systems. It will not work on any other systems. S4. Remember that. Whereas HANA DB you can able to use on any systems. Now, in the current market world, the I mean, HANA DB is the most powerful DB. As per my knowledge, I'm saying it because it can have a capability of doing both OLAP as well as your OLTP. OLAP, but whereas the other things it doesn't have. If you take big data, it can able to do only analytics. If you take Oracle, it can able to do only OLTP transactions. Or if you take MS SQL, it can able to do only only transactional processes. Doesn't have both the two things. But the SAP, even if you think as your Sybase database also, it has only OLAP functionalities. It doesn't have your OLTP. So once they have been acquired, so they have added this OLTP engine also. So that's why it's a powerful. So then they have renamed that to your HANA. So they have added both OLAP as well as your OLTP, both the things which I just showcase you in the architecture, how we can do it. So with the help of your transactional engine, it can able to connect to your databases, or it can able to connect to your CDS views. If the CDS view is exposed via a box and you are going to add your data, it will just transfer the data to your CDS views. From the CDS view, it will just go ahead and sit into your database tables. Whereas when you are using any BAPIs or anything, it will directly connect it to your databases. From the database, it will be pushed to your CDS view automatically. Okay, so that's the difference. So this is all about your S4 HANA. Now let's see the evaluation of your S4 HANA. As I told you earlier, so SAP ECC version enhancement pack 0 to 8, which can able to run on any DB. But if you're thinking from enhancement 7, EHP 7 onwards, you can install HANA DB, which is nothing but ECC on top of HANA. So you can remove your Oracle databases and you can just go ahead and install your HANA. Whereas coming to this simplified finance, now the simplified finance versions has been came up in 2015, which I just told you. So 1503 is nothing but your month. So 1503, and then it has been developed to complete S4 HANA 1511, 1610, 1709, 1809, 1909, and 2020. So from the year 2020 onwards, SAP was not depending upon any month. It is just showing it as your SAP 2020. 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. Current version is 2023 FPS 01. Future Pack support Future Pack 01, and October 9th they are going to release the Future Pack 02, which we are going to implement again in our current landscape. We want to go ahead, and the next release will be on 2025. As of the current HANA version, 2023 version is the most stabilized version. Remember that. So 2023 is the most stabilized version, but there are few more capabilities that is going to be increased. The next version as per SAP TechEd is 2025. They don't have any version on 2024, which SAP has told that they can have future packs, but they don't have any version on 2024 is what SAP has told us, but we don't know whether they can change that word or not. So 2025, after 2025, it will be 2032. 2032. Now, current world, why people are choosing S4 HANA is nothing but your, uh, which is nothing but your faster response. And not only this, even SAP is suggesting we are going to stop the support for ECC by 2027. By 2027, everyone has to move it to S4 HANA. So what are the different migration steps that we have? That will be covered as part of this course. On a high level, we'll be going to discuss about that. So not in detail. Okay, so that's one thing. So now coming to your industry solutions. So these are the different modules that we have available. These are the different modules, and these are the different industry solutions that you can able to use it, which will highlight. So if you see that uh, full green, you can able to use full length capacity. But over this, I have worked on your, in my current 15 plus years, I have worked on the chemicals, have worked on sports and entertainment, I have worked on wholesale distributions, I have worked on life sciences, I have worked on retail, I have worked on aerospace, and I have worked on telecommunications. I have worked on these type of things, these type of industries I have worked in my current 15 years of experience. Currently, I'm working with which things consumer products. Consumer products. I'm just working it. Okay, so my current thing. Now, if you see this, these are the S4 releases which I just told you. So from release 2020 onwards, SAP doesn't matter anymore. It is just going to use this one. Now, coming to the key differences, as I told you, database level, S4 HANA, it will only run on your HANA database. ECC, it can run on multiple databases, and it is used to take the full advantage of in-memory. Even though it can run on HANA, it is not optimized. Even though even though if it is running on HANA. Now, on-premise, private cloud, as well as your public edition. So, whereas in your ECC, on-premise version, not public cloud is available. Can be hosted as an hypercales, but no public cloud. Whereas S4 HANA is a simplified data models. Some functionalities are replaced with your cloud application, and over here it's a standard scope. And S4 HANA is a theory-based experience, whereas it's a GUI-based experience. It's a GUI-based experience. Theory apps are available but are limited. Theory apps are available but are limited, and you do have advantages, advanced functionalities like embedded analytics. You can able to do it. RPA you can able to do it. Copilot you can able to do it. AI/ML you can able to do it. AI also. AI also you can able to do it, but no such innovations you can't able to do it in S4 HANA. So this is all about your key differences between your ECC as well as your S4 HANA. Now, before we go ahead and showcase you what are the things that we are going to cover as part of our SAP HANA course. So do let me know if you have any open questions which are there on your mind. Any questions? Okay, I'll be considering it as no questions. And now let's see our course content. One second, guys. Sorry for that. This handout. Where is this course content? I think it's still in. Sorry, usually I used to open that, but I forgot to open this. Okay, so now if you go here, the first and the foremost thing is we will be starting head with your inline declarations or the new syntaxes that SAP has been introduced from ECC 7 onwards. So whatever the syntaxes which currently we are going to cover for the first 8 hours or 9 hours of session. So those things you can able to use in your ECC or you can able to use your S4 HANA. Why we are telling this one? As I told you, ECC EH7 onwards, it's compatible to S4 HANA. It's compatible to HANA DBs. Okay, so what are those inline declarations? So these are all the inline declarations you will be having it. And after that, you will be going to start it with the ATCs, the SLIN and SCI. What are these tools we will be using in our real time? These tools will be using in our real time when you're going to evaluate your SAP codes, SAP programming languages, or when you are developing any application, we will be going to run on these things. And then we will also see about the migration, which I have not tell you. So now how to install your Eclipse and what are the prerequisites. So when you're working on your S4 HANA, you need an Eclipse. You can't able to do it on your GUI, like creating of your CDS views, creating of your OData, creating of your AMDPs and everything. You have to work on your Eclipse only. Or HANA Studio. HANA Studio and Eclipse both are the same. Um, both are the same. They have taken the permanent license from Eclipse and they have renamed the Eclipse into SAP HANA Studio. Either you can use your Eclipse or you can able to use your HANA Studio. But tomorrow I'll be going to ask whether you want me to start it with your Eclipse. Even the programs what you're going to create in your GUI, you can able to do it in your Eclipse. So my previous batches, they asked me to showcase everything in your Eclipse only. So I just start with the Eclipse. The new syntaxes also, the program creations also, we have go ahead and start using of my Eclipse only. We are not going to use anything. So don't worry, we'll be going to see in detail how to debug and what are the different shortcut commands that are available on your Eclipse. All those things we'll be going to see as part of this course. Okay. After that, we'll be going to start it with your core data services. This will almost take like 20 to 25 sessions, I would say. So we'll be going to see in detail of each and everything, in detail of each and everything. And then we will be going to start it with your AMDPs. AMDPs. So this will go like uh, 12 to 15 sessions. 12 to 15 sessions in between the trench based upon how you are going to fetch, how you're going to digest the course based upon that. Don't worry, guys. If you have any questions in the middle of your session, you can just ask me. You can just ask me, or you can just ping me on a WhatsApp. And once you have successfully registered to our course, a WhatsApp group will be gets created. If you have any questions or any doubts, you can just post it on that WhatsApp. And after the course got completed, you will be added to another WhatsApp group where I will be just providing somehow, I mean, sometimes the new concepts, like small concepts which I learned, I used to take up a videos and I used to publish that on YouTube. So those things also I'll be just going to paste it over there so that you can able to be you can able to know what are the new features that SAP has been introduced. Okay, so that's one thing. And the other thing is, if I found any job postings for India, not for other countries, sorry to say that, in India, if they find any job postings or anything, I used to post it in that group so that you can able to know what are the where we have openings and everywhere. Okay, where we have openings and everything. So that's one thing. uh, and then the materials will be get shared over on that WhatsApp group, whatever the materials for new syntaxes. So like this, so you will be finding out all the materials over here. So materials. So this I'll be just going to provide you. This I will be just going to provide you. Don't worry, I'll also share you the RAP material also. That's a standard SAP book. So I'll be just going to provide that one so you can able to know that. So that's one thing we will be going to do it. And every day the class recording will be just provided for you guys. Class recording within 24 hours, it will be just uploaded and I'll be going to share you the link. It's a YouTube private video access. So I'll be going to share you on YouTube and it's a private. So only you can able to access to those videos, no other persons. Okay, so that's one thing. So you can ask me why can't you, so that's a lifetime access to, you can able to just store that URLs at one place. Every day the URL will be gets posted to your on your SAP on your WhatsApp group. Just I would request to store that as any bookmark, or you can just store that at one place where you can able to get all those videos at one place. Okay. So now coming to this course structures. So the fee is of two different types. One is with the server and one is without a server. Why I was insisting like this is people are already working expert working professionals. Most of the people, they might have their own sandboxes which company will be gets provided. Why they want to invest on the server. So that's why we are just splitting the course into two different modes. One is with the server and one is without server. If you want the server, which we will be providing you 6 months of server, HANA 2022 version server, which currently I'm using the server, the same server will be gets provided, which will be cost you about 25,000 INR. It will be costing you about 25,000 INR. If you don't want your server, it will be like 20,000 INR. 20,000 INR, and these are slight negotiables. Don't worry on that. Okay. And the payment terms and everything, we can discuss internally once you have been successfully registered to our course. If you want to register, I would request to call or Slack to this Slack to this, sorry, not Slack, WhatsApp to this number with your confirmation so that I'm going to be interested. So don't worry. So the same link will be go ahead and extend for the next couple of days, till Friday. And one more thing I forgot to tell you, this Thursday you don't have your class, but I'll be going to compensate that class on Saturday. On Saturday. So this is all my IST timings, guys. So there are people who are working on EST and PST times. Please take care of your time zones. Based upon that, I would request you to attend the sessions. So it's almost like 11 and a half hour to 10 and a half hour difference is there. So based upon that, please take a look, okay, of this. So this is how my training is. If there is any public holidays, or sometimes I'm also busy with some of the critical activities which I have to extend my office hours till 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. IST. So on those times I can't able to take up the classes. So those will be compensated over on the weekends. Okay, so the course will be of 90 days to 100 days. In between 90 to 100, I was not insisting like it has to complete in 100 days, guys. It is if it go ahead and extend for 120 days or 150 days also, I don't mind, because once you are going out from this session, you have to learn. I would say you have to fly like as a butterfly, so you can roam anywhere and you can just crack the interviews. Don't worry, I'll also going to tell you about the interview questions, what they're going to ask in the interview, or how they can twist the questions. Because I'm in the interview panel from the past 8 years. I would say from the past 8 years, I'm in the interview panel, and I'm the most toughest guy on the interview from the interview side. So I won't to select the profiles like simply. He has to be very, 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 very good in the basics, and he has to be very good in the technical skills. Then only I used to select. Let's say if I have taken 10 profiles, I used to select one or zero. That is how my style is. Even in that one also, I'd request to take one more round. I'll ask them to take one more round. Based upon that, you can just go ahead and select them. So that's how my interview capability is. And I will also help you in your resumes. I can also take up your mock interviews. So that resume preparation and mock interview, it's upon yourself, guys. You have to buzz me on WhatsApp. Then I can just able to take care of those. Okay, so it's not like I'm not going to that's what I told you, right? It's not an institute where I need to I'm not going to depend on you. You have to always depends on me. You have to always ask me what you needed. It's your responsibility. You are paying the money. Okay, so remember that you have a right to ask anything to me. Not only this, when you're working on your real-time scenarios also, if you're going to struck at some place, you can just buzz me. Maybe the response might get delayed because of sometimes I was being struck with the business calls and everything. So the response will be gets delayed, but you will be you'll for sure you will be get a response from my end. Okay, so this is all about how our this is all about the introduction. So from tomorrow onwards we are going to start it with our first class for first class. So the same link, guys, I would request some people who has been joined from LinkedIn event, I would request to store that URL at one place. You can join the same link till Friday. Till Friday, as Thursday is holiday, so I'm traveling to some different place. So that's the reason I need to go ahead and take a holiday on Thursday. Sorry for that. That's my planned vacation. So sorry for that. So because of that, I just want to shift over to the next week. But why I need to waste days of this 5 days of session? So that's why I have started the session right now. So but that session I'll be going to compensate on Saturday, as I confirmed you. The timings will be 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. IST every day from Monday to Friday. So before we go ahead and wind up the session, uh, any questions or any thoughts you'd like to share with us so that it can help me for the further batches. Any questions or any thoughts you'd like to share?
Rakesh, it was a very good session. That was for sure. So thank you for that. And other thing I wanted, can we go through the syllabus like after AMDP? You have any other topics? I
Yeah,
just wanted to.
OData services. Sorry for that.
Oh
So
yeah,
OData
yeah, we
services.
stopped there. Yeah,
Yeah, I have
OData.
maintained at the
Oh,
last, and then
okay,
and then AMDPs, and then few other topics which I learned. I mean, in this 3 months of duration, if I learned any other things. See, I didn't mention about the upgrade part from what are the things that we need to go ahead and take as part of your upgrade. I didn't mention, but
okay.
I'm going to add that. So these are the things. So what I learned in
Yeah,
these 3 months, anything interesting or anything new which is going to be used for my students, I'll just go ahead and add that into your course.
yeah. So what is now UI5 and Fiori? That's not a part of this course, right?
No,
UI5
no,
definitely. Yeah,
UI5
that's
and Fiori, they need uh, Node.js and everything, which I don't
okay.
know to be frank. But
Okay.
I'll tell you how to find, how to debug a UI5 app, and how can
Okay.
you find out the backend OData services or the backend CDS view where it is going to fetch that.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
fine.
we are going.
With this basics, I'm sure, see, theory or what, with my experience, I can tell, unless you know this basics, knowing theory, if you don't know this and you know theory doesn't work in real time. So these are
Right.
the basics which will help you to even work on theory. So that is good. I
Exactly.
just wanted to know. Yeah, that is
Yeah. So those things we have not added. So this
okay.
is like as a over level overview, but you will be getting to know all those things also. Okay.
Okay.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions or any other suggestions you would like to provide? Okay, I'll be considering it as no suggestions and no questions from anyone. I would request to join the session daily, guys, and whoever is interested, just ping me on that number. So I hope you have already taken the number, or else please note it down. It's 7406 333 656, or else 7406 333 656. So just ping me on WhatsApp based upon your confirmation. But this link will be extended for another 4 days. So within that 4 days, you have to decide and you have to do your first installments. If you want to have any negotiations, if you want to speak, you can just speak it with me, one-on-one sessions. Okay, but please call me after 10 a.m. IST, because I have a session from I have a session from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I have another session. So after this 9 o'clock, I need to take my kid to school and I need to drop him over the school. So those things I'll be going to take it up. But after 10 o'clock to afternoon 1 p.m., I will be completely free. So you can buzz me on those timings. So these are all IST timings, guys. Remember that. Okay. So in the evenings, I'll be available or on WhatsApp in the afternoon sessions and evenings. I mean, I'll be available or on WhatsApp. If you want to have a one-on-one discussions, you can just buzz me on in between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And over on weekends, it will be completely delayed, because I used to put my entire dedication to my family. My kid is almost like 3 years, so I just want to spend much time with my kid. So you will be getting most delayed over on weekends. Sorry to say that. So priorities are there, so we have to spend the quality of time to my family too. Okay, yeah, that's it. So thank you all. So if you don't have any other questions, I'm going to wind up the session for now, and if you have questions, you can just ask me. Okay, I'll be considering it as no questions, and we'll meet you tomorrow at the same time. From tomorrow onwards, it will be only 1 hour session. Thank you all.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.